Hello guys. So I'm home again, jiggity jig. Although I don't feel like dancing a jiggity jig. I'm glad I'm home early enough to enjoy being home before I have to work at 2. Um, I'm just sitting in my car because I'm too freaking lazy to get out of it. Do you ever do that? You just pull up to your home and you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything else right now. It's nice out, but it's not sunny. At least it's cool and breezy. I'm really tired. I was up early, as you know, and maybe I should just take a nap. Have some lunch and a nap before going to work. Therapy was amazing. Draining, but not like in a bad way. Just, it's an amazing thing to release negative energy of your soul, if I can put it that way. You know, baggage. It's all about baggage. Luckily, I find it easy to talk about myself. Quite frankly, I enjoy it. And he's eminently easy to talk to, as you all know. And please, no lectures. He's a lovely, lovely, lovely man in every way, and I can't help it that I like him. I can't help it. And no, I'm not quitting him. Maybe he'll quit me. I don't know how that works. I don't think they just up and quit a client who might be in trouble. I feel like I'm getting into like Fatal Attraction territory here. It's not all that serious. It's just I'm enjoying the novelty of being around someone I enjoy being around. I've had clinicians before where it was like, oh God, here we go, and because there was no chemistry, I was not forthwith with my stuff I wanted to get out. So we did an outdoor session today. We walked down this trail, and it's very easy to talk when you're walking. And then it got really hot sitting on a bench, so he showed me this area by the water, really pretty. I can't believe I've lived in this town 5 years, and I'm not aware of like a nice walking trail that's near a secluded pond. I know where all your minds are going. It wasn't like that. We had a very good talk about all sorts of things. We kind of just like catalog what's going on in my life and I told him about the meeting that I had to go to directly following meeting with him. And so it was good that I had therapy first because it kind of bolstered me. And we talked about stuff about the documentary again and my daughter's reaction to it. And I don't know why I'm telling you guys about my therapy, but I consider you friends. We discussed poetry again. He talked about the retreats that he holds. He's like a spiritual retreat guy, like not religious, but he organizes retreats for men in recovery, like in New Mexico, and it just sounds so cool to me. And he works with like the Franciscan friars or something, doing like ritual work, and I don't know. I said, are you a shaman? Are you like a voodoo guy? And we laugh. We laugh a lot because he's always afraid to trigger me. Like every time he talks about anything to do with God or theology or spirituality or religion, he's always like, are you okay? Are you okay? And then I wind up laughing. So it was good. It was good. There's always a lot of like deep stuff and tears and then laughter because he doesn't take himself too seriously. And the funny thing about therapy and therapists is that the deeper and grittier things get, the more like raw, they get excited. Like, I mean, if they're good at their job, they take it as like a challenge and a project, and I'm always like kind of apologizing for it when things get, rough. And I was telling him stuff about my daughter, and and that always touches a nerve in me, and I was crying. And he's like, this is great. This is great. This is exactly what we needed to do today. This is exactly what I needed to hear. This is so good. This is so good. And I'm like, it reminds me of like when you're watching a disaster movie, and you're watching like the behind the scenes, and something horrible is happening, and the director's going, oh, this is gold. This is great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. As someone's like falling off a building or something. But nothing, nothing intimidates him or scares him. And it was nice. We talked about a lot of stuff, and he said, "Don't worry." He goes, "I'm going away for 2 weeks, but don't worry. I'm going to check in with you on the phone." And um, he's like, he goes, "We're not supposed to say this. We're not supposed to have favorites, but you're one of my favorites." And I said, "You're my favorite," and here we go, right? And then I read him some of my poetry, including that one, and he got tears in his eyes, and he said, "You have such a beautiful soul, and I can't believe that you're able to just come up with this stuff, and get so easily inspired after all you've been through." And I said, "Well, actually, I think I have access to my emotions because of what I've been through, because I refused to let that part of me get closed off and stolen away when I was a child." And I would go in my room and I would write poetry, and I would read a lot, and I would draw and sketch and make scrapbooks, and went very, very deep into an imaginary life to cope with stuff as a kid. So, and then as an adult I drank, but so, I have a feeling I'm going to be kind of a long project, but he said some sessions, he goes, are going to seem like we're just talking, and he goes, others are going to feel really painful, and it's all part of the process, which is never linear. And I wished him well on his vacation adventure, and I hoped he had good weather and stuff, and may or may not have said, "Take me with you." No, I didn't say that. But I did give him a hug at the end. It was not a sexual hug. It was a warm hug. He does understand my need for lack of a better word, paternal validation, not validation, paternal, I don't want to say attention either. Everything I say comes out sounding perverse and wrong. He just understands. He understands the gaps and the holes in my life. And I think he's willing to, besides, it's not his boundary issue. It's mine, really. He doesn't feel the same about me. Although he did say I look pretty today, which was nice. What woman doesn't want to hear that? I'm not going to lie. Some of you might be saying, well, that's not appropriate. I don't care. So, yeah, that's what's going on. And then when I went, oh, there's my mail. More bills. Yay. So then when I went to QR, I had to reread the 2 typed out statements and sign them. And I made some amendments. I kind of reminded him of a few things. And I again said, now listen, by me signing things, I'm not admitting to anything, and I don't want to get anyone in trouble. And he said, we just want a factual record of what happened. And if you're telling the truth, everything's fine. And I said, I am telling the truth, and I don't even understand what the problem is. Nobody will freaking tell me anything, but I wish they spent more time trying to find funding for proper pay for us instead of all the nonsense. But all right, I've said enough. I've said too much as usual. I think I'll go in and find something to clean. I need to find something to eat. A couple days ago, I had to cancel my debit card because I keep on getting recurrent fees from nefarious places like in India. And when I called the bank, they said it's easier to just cancel your card and get a new one than have us dispute things and try to investigate all this stuff, which could take a while. Somehow they have my number, and somehow they're posing as Amazon and HBO and stuff like that. So, but before they could actually give me back any money, my card was canceled. And I'm used to using my debit for everything. I never have cash on me. So I suppose I could write a check and go to the bank and get some food or get some lunch. But I'd rather just hunker down and just make a sandwich here or find some soup, or there's always something to find. I'm very good at that. I'm trying to lose weight anyway. But I didn't have breakfast, so I need to eat something. Oh, you know what? I'll have a can of sardines or something. This is really a ramble. This is a good old-fashioned ramble. I hope you guys are doing well, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is in your country or area of the country. How's the weather? How's the weather by you, Sabina? You hanging in there? It's pretty normal here. It's normal early summer here. I'm excited about having the 4th of July off. I can't wait to have Ruth come over And luckily I get paid tomorrow, so I'll be able to buy some snacks and some food for if she comes over. I mean, if she really insists on going to the mall or going somewhere, I mean, I guess we could, but it doesn't jazz me. Like, I'm not in a shopping mode, and I really can't afford to. And believe me, the mall around here is terrible. It's terrible. It looks like an old, like, half bombed out factory. So I'm gonna say, like, no, let's just sit by the lake and sip lemonade. And I mean, she doesn't drink too, so that's awesome. Because there's nothing worse than being around someone that wants to, crack a few cold ones, and you're like, I can't drink anymore. She's been with me one time when I was drinking, and she's like, do you have a problem? Yes, I have a lot of problems. All right, I'm shiftily looking around like I'm Chantal with a cheeseburger. I'm going to go get my mail and go inside. And I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.